Hey everyone, Nick Engvall here. Before we get into today's episode, I want to tell you about some of the people that make the sneaker history community and this podcast possible. It's more important than ever to think about who you give your money to when you're buying clothing to go with your kicks. Our friends at Guilty Goods started their brand with a goal of giving back, especially to the communities that make sneaker culture possible. With every purchase from Guilty Goods, at least 10% of the proceeds are donated to organizations like Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the Susan G. Komen Foundation, the Movement for Black Lives, and many more. You can save 30% on your order by using the code HISTORY at guiltygoods.us. Again, that's history at guiltygoods.us for 30% off, and you can feel good about your purchase knowing you're supporting a meaningful cause. Sneakers are all about presentation, and if you're like me, displaying your kicks at home or in the office is just as important as when they're on your feet. Sneaker Throne makes sneaker display cases featuring customizable LED lights, drop-side cases to showcase the entire side of the shoe, not just the heel or the toe, the whole shoe. They've also got display cases for trading card collectors and hat collectors. To me, it's the perfect way to display your collection. You can save at least 10% on your Sneaker Throne order by using the code HISTORY at sneakerthrone.com. That's history at sneakerthrone.com. If you're a Patreon supporter or a member of our Discord community, you already know about Kicks with V hot sauce and his small batch, locally sourced hot sauce. V has been one of the biggest supporters of sneaker history and the podcast since the early days. He's currently the defending champion in our community trivia nights competition. Kicks with V hot sauce has been a huge hit with the community. You can save 10% on your order by using the code SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. That's SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. Now, you're probably here because you like sneakers, and if you join the Discord, you know our community is about so much more than that. Whether it's the marathon-like community calls, trivia night debates, the in-person meetups, or just sharing our favorite experiences, we found that although we have such different backgrounds, we all have some unexpected shared passions. Not only does the entire community look out for each other when it comes to releases, we're like a support group for life in general. You can join the Discord community for free by heading to the show notes of this episode. After you're done listening to this episode, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Now let's get into today's episode.
Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Oh, what a James with no regard for human life. 12 seconds. Bryant for the win. Iverson against Gill. The crowd on its feet. Allen for the win.
Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast.
What up, what up? My name is Nick Engvall, and this is the Sneaker History Podcast. For me, sneakers has never really been about the shoes. It's been about the people. Sneakers have been the connection to friends, business partners, unforgettable stories and memories, and opportunities that I could have never imagined. My goal has always been to create something that opens doors for others to find ways to do something they're passionate about for a living. If you're already a member of the Sneaker History Discord, you know how great the community we have is. It's so much more than sneakers. When someone needs some help getting through a tough time, the community is there. When someone in the community drops a new product line or publishes their first YouTube video, everyone is quick to support. That's why this year we'll be launching a series of new podcasts directly from the community. The first is a Formula One focused podcast hosted by myself, Rohit Malhotra, and Todd Yates, where we hope to make becoming an F1 fan a little easier and give you a better understanding of the sport, whether you're just starting to watch or a longtime fan. You can check it out at exhaustnotes.fm or linked in the description for this episode. As always, thank you for supporting Sneaker History, and don't forget to tell someone you like their kicks today. If you didn't know, we stream a couple of times a week at twitch.com/sneakerhistory with the members of our Discord community. There are always a lot of incredible sneakers that show up on the stream, but this week things went to a whole new level when one of our guests broke out the iconic Pigeon Nike SB Dunk by Jeff Staple. Needless to say, the conversation was incredible. I hope you enjoy the latest Sneaker History community convo, and if you haven't already, hit the link in the description to join our community and become a part of the conversation. It doesn't cost a thing, and I can guarantee you that you will meet some great people and find a new appreciation for sneaker enthusiasts. What up, what up? Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast, Community Edition, Rockin and Coppin. My name is Nick Engvall. If you're new here, we've got a group from the community. Hit the link in the description. We'll get you to our Discord, where all these good guys hang out and a bunch of other people on a regular basis, talk kicks, help each other get sneakers, and generally just, I don't know, it's just a cool place to be. But I want to let everybody kind of introduce yourselves rather than me doing it for you. So whoever wants to start us off, let's introduce yourself to the audience here.
Fano, how about you?
What up, everyone? I'm Fano. Joined the Discord, I want to say
6 months ago, maybe longer. Out in New York City. I've been collecting sneakers since I was a small boy. So, what up?
Nice.
What up, man?
Welcome, man.
Hey,
And you're a United fan, huh?
glory, glory.
There you go. Nice.
What up, people? I'm Dalton. I've been here a while. You probably, if you watch these, you've seen me before. I like weird shoes. I like Vans a lot. I didn't think of anything funny to say this time, so I'm going to pass it off to Jeff.
What's going on, guys? I'm Jeff from Denver. Been in the Discord for a little over a year now. This is my first time hopping on the live thing, so I'm excited.
Pete.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Nick. Wow. I was gonna say I've known Nick for Nick. How long has it been? 10 years, give or take.
Yeah, probably.
We worked together at Finish Line. Yeah, happy to be here.
Hi, Pete.
Greg, bring us home.
I'm Gregatron. Ankle support, blah, blah, blah. That's it.
That's all you need to know.
There is no shoe too high for Greg.
That's true.
So if you haven't watched one of these shows, basically what we do is we talk about things that we rocked in the week, maybe some of the pickups, what we copped in the week. No set rules, no set boundaries, anything like that. But this week we're going to let Pete start us off because he's gotta get out of here a little bit earlier. So, Pete, what are you rocking and copping?
Okay, so I think for the first time in a long time, I left the house 3 times today.
Holy cow.
Wow.
Right? Yeah.
Nice.
I went to my office for the first time. I've been working there for almost a year now. And so I went there and did some other stuff. So I'll show you guys the 3 things I wore today. How's that sound?
Excellent.
Leave the house
Okay.
3 different times, wear 3 different shoes. I like it.
Yeah. Hell
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. You have to. You absolutely have to.
I'm the exact same way.
So, okay, I would be remiss to not start. You guys who are in the Discord know this, but I'm a huge Crocs fan.
No.
Amen, brother. Amen,
Literally
brother.
have like
You beat me to it.
7 years now, and these fur line joints don't smell so
Oh,
good. Though.
Don't kiss your own crock.
Don't smell so good. Okay. So some of this is going to be a little controversial, I have a feeling.
Oh man, it really
Which
would
would be
applause.
Already.
What did I wear? God, I don't remember. Okay, well, we're going to start with these. Oh, here we go. Okay, so when I dropped off a package at FedEx and went to the office today for the first time in a year, I wore these.
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
So, fish scale SBs.
Solid.
I got these from Todd in the Discord. So, one of my favorite things about the Discord is people are like offering up shoes that they want to get rid of. You know, maybe they've worn a couple times and vice versa. So, I got those for a great price and they're amazing. And then this is what's going to be controversial because I know a lot of people hate these and I still think I do. I'm not entirely sure yet.
So,
Okay.
give me your best pitch on these because
Barry loves them.
Barry's been swearing by these. I just don't know, man. I just sell me the best you can.
I've had them in my basement for like, I don't know, 6 months. And I don't know. Like, I like Crocs. These are kind of like less shitty Crocs. They're super comfortable. They're good for when it's warm. I look ridiculous. That's all I gotta say. I mean, I realize how ridiculous I look. So I play on a soccer team still, trying to pretend that I'm still young. And I've worn these like 2 weeks in a row. And the dudes on my team like roast the living shit out of me. Like, it's amazing. Yeah, and these guys are like, you know, they don't know anything about shoes, but they know that these are garbage. And there's a part of me that doesn't hate that. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm fine with it, you know? Like, I'm like, yeah. But then there's like one guy who's like, oh, those are like crazy. That's kind of cool. So that.
Has anybody outside, did anybody randomly ask you about them? Like, other than like People that you know?
I've seen people like look at me weird, like, but you kind of get those with other sneakers too. Nothing like where it's like a pure look of like utter disgust or shock or something. I haven't gotten any of that yet, but I also only started wearing them like 2 weeks ago. So ask me in a couple months and I'll tell you then. Okay. So last thing I wore today were these.
Oh, nice.
They kind of go with my shirt. Not super hyped up or anything. But
all right. Well, you got to plug the shirt, man.
Yeah, man. Where'd you get that beautiful shirt?
Where'd you get that shirt?
This whole thing? Hold on. Yeah.
Oh, too low.
There it is, baby.
Beautiful.
So I have a brain on the side that, nothing crazy, but I do enjoy doing it. So if you ever want to check it out, it's guiltygoods.us. There you go.
Highly recommended.
Yes, same. Some
Great
great quality stuff on there.
Appreciate you guys. And that's about it. I try and cop pretty much everything that drops. I'm a filthy botter and reseller, so I probably have better success maybe than some of you guys.
What have you been eating lately? You said you've been getting a lot of hits lately.
Yeah, I got the Blazers today in that white colorway. I got the Union Dunks yesterday that a couple sites dropped on.
Nice.
Tomorrow the Zeros are dropping or restocking for like 30th time.
Again?
Yeah, again.
And prices are not great right now, but they'll go up. So I'll probably try and get like 10 or 20 pairs of those. But yeah, I got into reselling and because I couldn't hit shit, as you guys are all intimately familiar with. And just like seeing pairs, like the fact that I hit those off-white Blazers today, I think they're disgusting, but I really want to see them in person. Like I'm super excited to see them. And then maybe I'll, it's kind of like, I shouldn't be talking, I'm rocking foam runners, but like when you see shoes in person, it does, sometimes it does make a huge difference. And like
it can totally change your mind. Yeah,
exactly. So
I'm super curious about those.
Did you get the knit runners in person?
I got the original colorway, the piss.
My
colorway.
buddy did too, and I got to see them in hand for a while, and those things are really, really weird. I wasn't
I like them
expecting
a lot.
the upper material to be what it was.
So I haven't gotten to see those in person, but if you listen to the podcast, you could go back and listen to my conversation with Brett Golliff, who's like a footwear designer and has done a bunch of stuff. And he was like absolutely fascinated by that shoe and talked about how it was all stitched underneath and like how impossible it would be to create. And that in itself was like made me want to go find a pair just to like see them in hand,
No, that shoe is. I was gonna say that shoe is like from a technical perspective, like literally impossible to make. Like it's so revolutionary in that respect. I like it a lot.
It's the one that looks like a banana, right? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
The OG colorway was like not good, but then they just came out with like a black and tan colorway, and it looks way better. But
they were also just incredibly hard to get. Like I know most botters like didn't get them, or they got one pair maybe.
Yeah, they were very limited.
Yeah.
There was some video. I don't know the dude. I'd never seen him before, but it was someone that Seth Fowler is friends with, and he did like a video where he cut him open. It's super interesting. Yeah. So
I might have to find that.
I don't know the guy's name.
That sounds cool.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of my spiel. You guys can see my IKEA shelving with sneakers in the background.
I do really like your
you look cool.
your setup is really good, Pete. I gotta say, man, I like it quite a bit.
It's a really good conversation piece at work when you have that like awkward like 3 to 7 minutes of just uncomfortable bullshit, and everybody's like after you've talked about the weather, 30 seconds later,
Yeah, we'll give them a few more minutes for those people that are running a little bit late, and that's that moment of like, do I leave myself on mute or do I?
I'm camera off on mute.
Yeah,
I feel you
I
saying.
usually just turn off the camera and leave, but that's just,
Greg, are you the only one here that doesn't have to deal with work Zoom meetings?
All I had to do was deal with the pandemic in real life, face to face, for the last 2.5 years. So,
I mean, I did for the most part.
sorry, you guys had some awkward video meetings.
I did for the most part because I was blue collar for the longest time, but the last 3 months have been working from home, and
Yeah, you get to see
it's something
greener
different.
side of the grass, man. Yeah,
it's a game changer. Huh?
yeah.
It's like great, but also kind of not, right? It's like
I haven't left my house in a week because I've been sick
it's
too.
like, well, all I really have to do is make it to the coffee pot before I make it to the desk, and I think I'm okay.
I'm just so
2-minute commute.
so jealous over here right now.
Okay, Nick, you just reminded me. My biggest cop in the last couple months has been a I think it's called a Breville. They make Breville. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it's like a homemade espresso maker.
Nice.
And dude, so now I fucking drink lattes every morning instead of like shitty like Starbucks coffee or whatever. And it's been a total game changer.
I'm jealous.
Highly
Man. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I don't drink coffee. I just drink hot chocolate and water.
Same, dude.
I don't drink coffee either.
Yeah.
What? Oh, you guys are missing the best part of the morning. Oh my god.
That's part of waking up.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm definitely a fan of coffee, but I also just like, I don't know if you guys have been into one of those like grocery stores where like, here it's like Sprouts, and Whole Foods was kind of like it when Whole Foods first started out, but it's literally like one aisle is just an entire refrigerated section of drinks. Like that's my idea of heaven, basically. Like I want 60,000 choices for beverages every day. And so like coffee is like I have like 3 or 4 different versions of coffee. I have like, a bunch of different teas. Sometimes I'm drinking like some variation of chai. Like it's just, I don't know. It's just one of those things for me, but I do really love the flavor of coffee. But I also like cigars and other things that are very similar. And
Are you you drink it black, Nick?
I mean, I'm kind of all over the place with it. Like some days it's black, some days it's like, I haven't really had like regular dairy milk in my refrigerator for like 5 or 6 years at least, maybe even longer. But I've been using oat milk creamer lately, which is actually really interesting because it's a totally different flavor profile than like, I mean, they all are different, right? Like if you use any kind of substitute milk, it has a totally different flavor, but it's like, it's interesting. I don't know why. I just like kind of nerd out about it, obviously. So
yeah.
Well, have you heard about these coffee makers, Nick? They're
So another note. I don't know if Greg, if you're in the Discord, Greg had a big life decision not long ago, and an air fryer was on the list of choices.
Yeah,
and I personally am. The air fryer was a life-changing experience for me once I started using it, and now I'm way too old to be on TikTok. But the best recipes for the air fryer on TikTok, guys. If you don't spend a couple hours on, like, look, you're taking a shit, you hop on TikTok, you're going to have 10 new dinner opportunities by the time you get off the shitter. And that to me is like, it's revolutionary, like life-changing experience. So
I don't think I told you, Nick, but I was not able to secure the air fryer.
Did you get the espresso machine?
No. So, I won't bore everybody watching with the details, but so I went to the Discord and like, hey guys, help me out here. I need to decide what to get. And everybody's like, air fryer, hands down, is going to change your life. I'm like, stoked. Okay, I'm going to do this. All right. Anyway, I was like, I'll order it tomorrow, whatever, no big deal. Hit the website up next day. No longer available. So no air fryer for me. So I, as Mario just said in the chat there, I went with the fire pit instead, which does resemble a giant wok. So Maybe I'll stir fry some chicken wings up in there, and I'll post that to the Food and Candy channel in the Discord when it
I
gets
mean,
there.
a fire pit in Portland would probably be nice, or out where you guys are at, to be honest. But like, it was 92 degrees in Sacramento today, so
No, dude,
I would
for
not get
real?
used out of that. Yeah, it was
Bro.
99 in LA this morning. When
That's
I was talking to some
insane.
people there. Yeah.
It was almost 80 degrees here yesterday, and Sunday we're supposed to get snow. So
Wait, in Portland, 80 degrees in Portland. in
yeah,
April?
dude. Yeah, dude.
Crazy, right?
It sucks now. It sucks now.
What I was gonna say, Pete, the Breville or whatever, however you pronounce that company. So like, my brother had that espresso machine from them. It's super nice. It just makes you feel like it's like adulthood in like an espresso form, right?
Dude,
Like,
it's
you
so
finally
cool.
made it.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
my brother also, his wife is like an incredible cook and like super creative in the kitchen. And she, like, they bought, when they moved into their new place, they bought a Breville air fryer, which is like a toaster oven air fryer combo thing, which I know we're supposed to be talking about sneakers, guys. I realize that. You can tell I'm thinking about dinner, what's to come. So yeah, that thing was amazing though.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Cool.
Anyways, sneakers.
Yeah, sneakers. So Pete, before you bounce, what's the best strategy for us to actually be able to buy sneakers other than hitting you up to use your bots?
Buy it before it releases on StockX. That's what I did. All right. I just bought
So
the
I've actually had. Oh, sorry, Pete.
How much do you get them for?
$217.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Wait, what'd
I
you
feel
pick
like
up?
that's going to be a $400 sneaker in 6 months. personally.
Polaroid SBs.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I can see
Very
that.
good.
I mean, there's obviously a lot of factors, but you know, I did like a seminar with you guys on your best chances to cop without bodying. But I mean, at the end of the day, your chances of copying without bodying, as you guys know, are not very good. And chances of copying with bodying are also not really all that good sometimes. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Totally.
When they make
So the
10,000
best-
pairs.
Best way to get sneakers is hunt for old shit on eBay.
That's
You
what
know
I
what I've
do.
started doing is I've been borrowing old cell phones from some of my friends and putting sneakers accounts on those and just using random cell phones. And that's, you know, that's probably the easiest and best way you can do it. So you get like a Google Fi account and they send you a bunch of SMS cards, which is, you know, clutch for Nike accounts because that's how it comes across as a different person.
Oh, that's
So
a good
maybe
idea.
you have like a
Yeah.
5 in a million chance versus a 1 in a million chance.
How many sneakers accounts do you have currently?
Like 5.
Okay.
Nothing crazy, but
Yeah, still better chance. Still a better chance.
I'm no mathematician, Greg, but I think that's a 5.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that's a good idea though. I've got a few old phones I could definitely throw a
We
SIM card
probably
into.
all do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I might have to dig through some boxes.
I mean, or even like a wife, girlfriend, sister.
My mom's
whatever.
got an account.
Yeah. So
There you
like
go.
my wife's account. I
has
always
she
enter
hit on
my
anything?
desktop.
I have for her, yeah.
Nice.
So there was a major. Speaking of that, there was a major step in my current relationship. I asked a girl to try to hit on a pair of shoes for me.
Oh,
She
that's
didn't, but
huge.
she still tried.
Wow, dude.
Yeah,
When's
and that
the
was great.
Keep her.
when's the baby coming, dude? That's the next step. My God.
Yeah, if it was up to my parents, it would already be here.
Yeah, right.
Of course.
Just wait till you get to be my age.
Yeah, they
Oh,
really
no.
want grandkids.
Can relate, Nick. Can relate.
Yeah,
Wait, who's
luckily
older,
my oldest
Greg or Nick?
brother.
Who's older?
I'm older than Nick by 3 days, I think.
Wow.
Shit. So you guys are both like 55, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
See,
Brother, if that was the truth, I'd be retiring tomorrow.
Well, that was going to be my next question.
That's
Like,
true.
are there AARP discounts with your bots, or?
You can actually get AARP at any age. It's just marketed to old people. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Huh.
That's interesting.
You should search it up because they have massive deals. I've never done it because I don't want to be an old person, but like,
Yeah, you're like the same age as me, right, man?
I'm 25. Yeah.
Yeah, you're even younger than me.
Oh,
God.
man. Oof. That
All right,
hurts.
boys.
That
Well, I
hurts.
hate to have to bounce, but without hearing
Yo.
the rest of you guys, but I
Love
gotta
you, Pete.
bounce.
Good luck in ranks tonight, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Later, Pete.
Peace out, man.
All right.
See you,
man.
Pete.
Have a good night,
Good to
guys.
see you. Laters.
All right.
Who wants to go next?
I nominate Jeff.
All right.
Oh, no.
Jeff's always got heat.
All right. Well, for Rockin, to start it off, kind of like Pete, I've got some Crocs.
Yeah,
These are
buddy.
circa 2004. Crocs, a little story about Crocs. They were invented in Niwot, Colorado, up north of Denver. So I got these probably about 6 months after they first came out from one of their little kiosks in one of the malls here in Denver. So these are some old beaters that I wear around the house. Since I don't have a job at the moment, I don't get out much, so I've been wearing those a lot. When I do get out, I've been rocking these. I showed these yesterday for the theme Thursday. Technically, I got the mellow ones, but I traded for these ones. I like the heavy better. The tiger camo and the orange I thought was a little better than the mellow. The third pair I thought was pretty cool too as well. I didn't get those. Since I have been unemployed recently, I haven't copped anything too in the last couple of weeks. Before that, I'm sure most of you guys have seen these. I sold a bunch of shoes right at the end of the year before all the tax stuff dropped from $20,000 to $600 that they're going to start charging you on. So I had a bunch of extra money for GOAT to play around with and lowballed and got these guys, as you've seen.
My God,
the
dude. Those
2014 Supreme foam posits. They were used, but pretty gently used. I put a bid in for $300 under what they were listed, and ended up getting them for $250 under what they would have been originally listed at. So
Damn.
I was pretty pumped about that.
And then didn't you actually go ball in those?
Yeah, I mean they're basketball shoes, so I figured when in Rome.
What a flex, dude. That's so crazy.
So I got those, yeah, and I've shot around in them a couple times and worn them to pick up the kids. Just like we say, they're just shoes, so I might as well wear them a few times. And then also, you guys have seen this because I've used, as many of you know in the Discord, I'm a big Air Max 1 guy. So for Air Max month, I got the denim Air Max 1s.
God, those are so good.
Again, with the GOAT credit, it was not without some trial and tribulation. I ordered them about a month early, and like 2 weeks after that, they canceled on me. So I had to wait again, and I was end up able to get these. But these are pretty nice. The materials are awesome. The denim, and then I like the red laces. I think is a good pop on them. So I'm pretty excited to wear them once for Air Max Day and wear them more when the weather gets better here in Colorado.
Man,
That's one of my favorite Air Maxes of the
those are
last
great.
long time. Those are beautiful.
Yeah, no, I was pretty pumped to get those. And then also, I don't have them here, but on the way, I've got a pair of infrared Air Max 90s. Thanks to you guys.
Yes.
Actually, so I'm excited to get those. So thank you again. And then I've got the shirt on as well. So thank you, Nick.
Yeah, of course. Man, I'm wondering, like, who gets more questions? Pete in the Yeezy foam runners at soccer practice, or Jeff hooping in a Supreme foam posit?
Seriously, man.
I'm
Most of the Catholic school third graders that I was shooting with were not privy to the Supreme foam posit. They were one, maybe two when born when they came out. So I may have got some weird looks, but they definitely didn't know what they were.
Oh,
My
man.
competition wasn't too big.
I'm just
Did you dunk on him?
picturing Jeff dunking on a bunch of third graders right now.
Yeah.
I used to be able to, not anymore.
Yeah.
Some Iceman layups. Some
Classic.
Nice.
Yep.
That's
That's
awesome.
good stuff.
I love it, dude. Yeah.
All right, who wants to go next?
I can go.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Let's see it, Fano. Fano's about to
So-
pull out a pair of mags or something. This guy.
No. So I haven't hit on sneakers since the Game Royal ones dropped in 2018. And so I mean I like
long
I
ago.
enter them. I know it's literally been 4 years.
Wow.
And so, you know, kind of on the topic of how do you hit on sneakers without using a bot, you just enter, and sometimes you might end up with a pair that everybody wants.
Oh, God, those look good.
Yeah. They're pretty nice. Like I like them a lot. They
What up?
are.
For the people.
Oh, these are the Georgetown 85 Jordan 1s. So they were based off of a sample color that I think was around in 85 in the Georgetown colors. And they dropped in the kind of original shape, or like, you know, very close to original shape. The one thing I will say is the quality is, it's okay. That's what I'll say. It's
Does
really
it have that super duper stiff leather?
Yes. This
like
leather
on the
is,
other 85s.
This leather is so fucking stiff. Like I see people posting pictures like, yo, this shoe is amazing. The quality is crazy. And I'm like, I don't know, bro. This looks like a Jordan that released in like 2013 when they were like
Ooh,
not
that's
doing a good job.
that bad?
I mean, I'm sure the leather is better and it probably just, you know, you got to break it in, but I don't know. I mean, they're nice. I'll keep them. I think I'll probably keep them on ice until everyone who got them kind of stops wearing them, and then I'll, you know, finally bring them out again in maybe a year. So yeah, that was my latest cop. Other than that, I got some pretty old dunks. I'm more of a dunk guy in general. So these are both from
the pistachios. Oh my god.
Yeah, these are both from 2003. The Celtic greens or clover greens, I think, and then the pistachios. These are like all-time grails of mine. Mario had the hookup. He linked them in the Grails channel of the Discord, and then I was actually following the guy who was selling them on Instagram, but because of Instagram's fucking algorithm, just didn't see his post. And then it was a good price. It was my size, and I bought them, and now I have them. So
awesome, man. That feels really good.
Who'd you get those from?
I think it's Nike Air Fiend on Instagram. He's or they're a restorer, but I think that they're also a sneakerhead, and they just had a ton of great pairs, and some in my size. And then I think the final thing that I've been rocking are these. These are these are custom Air Force Ones based on the Taiwan Air Force Ones that were released in 2001. I made a custom, I love that shoe. I think it might be my favorite Air Force One ever. It's normally a red swoosh on the outside and a blue swoosh on the inside, but I made a custom pair that's green and red after the Madagascar flag, which is where I'm from. And
that's dope, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Those look really good.
These.
Those look really good. Yeah.
And that's the really cool lenticular material, and that's all patent leather, right?
Yeah. So I made an all white patent leather ID when they had the option available. I wish I had made a ton more, but I made these. And then I removed the swooshes and replaced them with it was just vinyl that I glued on paper with the swoosh on them. But
oh shit! I thought that was an actual Nike ID option.
No. Because
they had the fade swooshes like that last year, I think.
Yeah, they had the fade swoosh on the patent leather option, but it wasn't the exact Taiwan swoosh. And I'm a bit of a stickler for these things, so I was like, no, I want the Taiwan swoosh.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite things about that shoe is just how like it's just like different, right?
Yeah, and I have like God, I've been like trying to research that pair for the longest time because I have no idea like what the story is on it. All I know is that it was an Asia exclusive. I assume they called it Taiwan because it was red and blue, like the swooshes were, like the Taiwanese flag. But other than that, like that thing is a unicorn and pretty hard to find. Pretty hard.
Yeah. The only people I see post them anymore are like PG Nose, Gusto will occasionally have them, Corgi will occasionally have them. And that's about it.
Yeah, I when I was a senior in college, I had 3 pairs from 2001.
Hell yeah.
And
like a couple of years ago, aren't you like 25?
Yeah. This was like, I want to say 3-4 years ago. I had 3 pairs and it was crazy. Like one pair, like I paid what it was worth. But then the 2 other pairs I had found on eBay, they were being sold together. They were both beat to shit, but I copped the 2 of them for $60.
Hell yeah, bro.
Wow.
So like literally $30 a pair for like grails. Like
okay, that's crazy. That's
but I ended up giving those away. Go ahead.
Fano, I don't know if you saw in the chat, but there was a request to show off the pigeons.
I knew this was coming, so
yes,
I'm ready.
Let's go.
All right.
Woo.
Here's the box.
Lord. Wow, dude. Come on.
Orange tag, just so you know. All right. First I'll give a little teaser.
Oh, nice.
Love those.
Cool. Yeah.
The socks.
Awesome. Yep. That's so cool.
You know what? I did not realize those came in the mini box like that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The one thing I wish it came in the box that the shoe actually came in, but it came out like when the black box, like during the black box era. So they put in the black box. And then boom.
Oh my God, man.
Wow.
Angel singing.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Seriously.
It is almost Easter.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What's the plan? When are you going to actually put these on feet?
Dude, I have no idea. Like,
do you feel like you actually can wear those? Because
this is how I feel. They are actually like worn. I think they've been worn once or twice, so they're not like completely dead stock. So I wouldn't feel bad about like undead stocking them. But I think that if I got, I don't know if you guys have seen those like plastic things that they like add to like the bottom of shoes and then like super decreasers and stuff. I think if I added that, and maybe one day I'll wear them to like a sneaker event or something. I don't know. Or if I ever get rich enough that the price of them doesn't mean anything to me.
Right. Whenever you do put them on, you're gonna break necks, dude. It's goddamn.
For the people who know.
Yeah. For the people who know. And the final bonus of this, I posted this on Instagram, but for my birthday, my girlfriend, my amazing girlfriend, made me this. And what it has in it is it's a little pigeon pop figure.
Oh my God, that's
awesome. That's so sick, dude. Wow.
And, I know. And she made this like crazy box for it.
The box is like sick. Perfect, man.
Wow. I know.
She's got crazy skills, dude. That's impressive as hell.
She is quite the artist. But yeah, this was like
put a ring on it.
An amazing present. So yeah, I mean, those are my pigeons. Those are my cops. A few shoes I've been rocking. So
Very nice, dude. Very, very, very
Awesome.
nice.
I noticed you couldn't help but smile when you pulled them out of the box. Like, have you ever been able to pull them out and not have a smile on your face?
no, dude, this has been like, the pigeon has been like, I'm from New York, so the pigeon has been like the holiest of holy grails for me, like forever. And like, I mean, even back when I was like in middle school and they were only going for like $1,000 on like Flight Club. Like I was like, wow, I'm never gonna have this shoe, you know, never gonna spend $1,000 on a pair of shoes. And I definitely paid more than $1,000 for.
Sure.
Kind of have to.
I mean, it's one of those shoes that like you're not going to see very often. So if you have the chance, even though it sounds crazy money wise,
I know.
Like, would you trade 10 pairs of $100 shoes for that $1,000 shoe? It's like no brainer, right? Like,
No.
Right.
you think of it in that
In a
sense.
second.
I know. Honestly, that's what I was thinking. Like when I bought them, I remember talking to my girlfriend about it, and she's like, why? And I'm like, because like literally they like, you never see these shoes on sale. Like, I feel like
it's your one shot, man. Like,
I know. Like, I feel like Paris SB is obviously the most like coveted Dunk SB ever. Like, yes, I agree. But I also do think that nowadays, I feel like I see that shoe a fair amount. Like it pops up like at least once a month on like some crazy resellers page or something.
And I think it's because that shoe is just completely a tradable asset at this point. It's not even a sneaker.
Yeah.
I have to say, like, I got to see those a few times when I worked at StockX. They would come through, and like they live up to the hype. They're one of the very few shoes that I think lives up to the hype in person when you get to like see them in hand, because the colors are like easily like the greatest, like most unique kind of normal colors. Like the colors are all out there regularly, right? But like when you see them together, it's different. And like the materials of them are pretty impressive considering they weren't like, you know, like nowadays, like you were talking about the 85 Jordans, like it's like they aren't like, they weren't heralded as like, oh, this is like the greatest material ever. It was just like another SB release. But like they are really, really nice. Like, I mean, I like not even being from New York, like that, when I saw them in hand, I was like, okay, I can understand why people actually want this shoe beyond like just the, you know, the crazy historical aspect of it and the story behind it and the legend of it. But like, they're really nice. And I wouldn't know if I could actually wear them or not. You know, like I would want to wear them so badly, but then to Dalton's point, it's essentially such an asset at this point. Like if you have a pair it's almost like better that you have a pair that's been worn once or twice, right? Because then the pressure is off. But if I had like a size 13 Pigeon right now, every day I would think is today the day. Like I would literally wake up today the day that I'm going to throw away $30,000 or whatever that price is, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, I actually like, I like hide them in my closet. Like I'm so scared of like anything ever happening to them. Like I don't want.
Do you have renter's insurance?
Not right now because I'm just living at home. But that is a good point. Like I probably
like whenever you get your place, you're going to need some renter's insurance, man.
Yeah. I know. I don't like. It's a weird thing to. It's a weird thing to have, honestly, because it's the second most expensive thing I've ever bought. The most expensive being my car when I lived in Portland. But like, it's like such a weird thing to just have. You know, like this is worth a fuck ton of money.
It seems like it would almost be nerve-wracking to have that in your possession.
Everything he's going through is like I'd say maybe 50% of that is how I feel about my NMF Dooms, and those are only worth like $2,000 now.
Dude, I love that shoe.
And like,
it's so good.
Yeah, but like everything he's saying, like I'm like, do I want to sell these? Do we even want to wear these anymore? What the fuck? I'm just nervous about even having these, and those are only worth $2,000. I can't imagine. I would be an anxious mess every day if I owned Pigeons or Parises.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'll be the most expensive like thing I ever buy, other than like a house and like a car, maybe.
Yeah, and the thing is, those pigeons, as far as like the way that the city pack has appreciated and has become almost like a material asset, same as like art.
Yeah,
those things are only going up.
Yeah. I mean, another 10 years and that you sell those, that's your down payment on a house. And then then it might not be the most expensive thing you've ever bought.
That might be more than the down payment.
Yeah.
I'm like, as I said, the holiest of grails. Like, I'm trying to never like part with this shoe. It's like my new goal is to get, as I said, like so rich, like that I don't have to ever care about how much.
You don't have to think about that, right? Yeah.
So rich, you can
just double up and have one to rock and
one to rock, one to stock.
Right.
How do you feel about the rest of the city pack? Like Paris's, everyone loves. That's a great shoe. But like London's and Tokyo's, what do you feel about those? Tokyo's are still pretty reasonable these days.
I mean, I like them. I've like seen a couple pairs of London's and Tokyo's go up for like a few thousand, and like, you know, since copying the pigeons, I've been like, should I?
Yeah.
Like, you know, should I sell a few? Should I sell a few? Because I do have a lot of like, I have a lot of like older Dunk SBs too that are now worth like a fucking ridiculous amount. So like, I'm like, you know, could I sell a few of these and just pick up like one of these and, you know, two city packs?
That would be a crazy pack to complete.
I've got a buddy that recently listed his stash, or I think they're stash, the FT20s.
Oh,
he just listed those for I think he wanted 15 for him because he's trying to get a Rolex.
I would keep the shoes, man. Honestly,
yeah. I like the guy a lot. He's a lot of fun. He's in the Discord sometimes. He's on Instagram. He's a real fun guy. But Rolex isn't for me as far as watches go. I'd get a different brand. But he's got his heart set on it, so good for him. I hope he sells them.
Yeah. Man, oh man.
I mean, both those things are going to appreciate in value. So,
even if a Rolex doesn't appreciate, it'll at least hold its value just forever.
Yeah. I mean, the city pack though, like, I think like the next. I mean, I love the Paris. It's so hard to say any of them are. All of them are so like perfect at this point, right? Like, what the color on the Londons for me is like. It's not like that's what I would wear. Like that.
I really like the Londons too. I think. What other shoe do you know has an outline of a river on it?
The London Air Max 1.
Yeah. Oh shit. Well, okay. You fine, Fano. Jeez.
No, I mean, I like the city pack. I think it's good, and I mean, I think honestly, the stories behind them, like, I think that they're really well. The overall design for all of them is just like a well-crafted story, you know. So
who designed the Tokyo?
I do not know.
Because I don't know.
That's going into trivia for next month. Nobody here knows. That's a good question.
I'm pretty sure it was the Nike like white dunk exhibit, and it was just, you know, a white dunk.
Yeah,
like that's what was going on. But
interesting.
The other thing I remembered the other day was I remember seeing a Sneaker News article. This is probably 10, maybe more years ago. But Jordan Geller, the Shoeseum owner, was at the time was selling the entire city pack dead stock for $10K on eBay, and it was like this massive thing. Like, can you guys believe this guy is selling like basically each shoe for $2,500, and everyone's like, "This is ridiculous. It'll never sell. It's a publicity stunt."
And now that's like the price of the cheapest pair.
Yeah, that's just insane.
This is literally
there it is. There it is.
Yeah,
just
like,
crazy. Like
Tokyo's used go for like $5 now, I think, and that's the cheapest pair probably.
Do we know who won this auction?
I have no idea.
I don't think anyone won. I think that I don't think anyone bought the shoe.
At that time I doubt
the trigger, huh?
Yeah, I doubt anybody would have paid for it at that time. It was just so kind of crazy. But for those that don't know, that's the shoes we're talking about here.
Yeah. What a pack. What a pack.
That would have been a good investment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for real.
An amazing investment.
Couple houses.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy. All right, Dalton, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. I've got a couple pickups. So similarly to Fano, I also have a pair of custom Air Force Ones. So this year is the 40th anniversary of the Air Force One. Happy birthday, Air Force One. And I managed to get lucky. The custom Air Forces One always sell out pretty quick on Nike by You. That's what these are. So I just went with something pretty simple. I went with all white tumbled leather with an off-white midsole, and then I did different colored swooshes. So the left shoe has red metallic and the right shoe has blue. It's this really nice matte metallic is what they called it. It's a pretty nice material.
This turned out really good, man.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and overall, I am super impressed with these because I'm kind of a stickler for old shape on Air Force Ones and Dunks. And these have a really, really fantastic shape, early 2000s shape on an Air Force One. The toe is the right shape. It's not too tall. The swoosh is the right shape. And the quality on these is just great, man. I'm really, really impressed.
Those are great.
Yeah, they did the Air Force One right for its birthday.
Dalton, why did you go mismatched swooshes?
It's hard to beat a white shoe with mismatched red and blue swooshes for me. I just love that. I think that could work on almost any Nike shoe.
True.
Yeah, and I just love it. And they did matching back tabs too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's good.
And then my lighting's really bad in my room right now, but it does have a slightly off-white midsole, which I think is so good. And then I just went with a white liner.
Yeah.
Then if you look really closely, you can see it says Anniversary Edition on the tongue, which I think is a really nice little touch.
Nice.
So I
These
wore
are
these
the
for
ones
the first
that
time
came
today.
with these are the ones that came with the toothbrush hang tag thing, right?
Yeah, I can grab that real quick.
I thought that was a really cool touch.
So are all the Air Force Ones on Nike by You this year going to have that tongue tag, I wonder?
So the hang tag it came with, which is a little tiny gold toothbrush, is an homage to the old school dudes just cleaning their Air Forces as soon as they got home, which I think was just an inspired choice.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Nick, to answer your question on do they come with a toothbrush? I think it's, not the toothbrush, the tag. I think it's just there's a Bayou Premium, and then there's just a regular Bayou. And then the Bayou Premium has the anniversary details.
That makes sense. Anytime it's a premium Nike Bayou, they call it the Unlocked or some other suffix. And for Air Force Ones, they always sell out within an hour of going live. Word to Mark in the Discord, Pappy Hour, he hit me up while I was seeing the Batman, and I managed to get them, and very happy.
You ordered those shoes while you were watching a movie?
It was the previews were just ending. I got the order in just as about it was as a
multitasking.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then the other pickup, which I'm even happier about because I am a huge Vans head, the Blends Vans Skate High unreleased pack. So Blends is this really, I'm told it's really dope shop in Costa Mesa, California. They have a couple other locations, and they have a pretty long-standing history with Vans, and their signature motif is the bone jazz stripe. And they've just done that over the last couple years, and they're all just incredible, just super the same but different design philosophy, but they elevate it with just fantastic materials. So they did a 3-pack. They did red, black, and they did an old school in black, all with the white bone. And they're always really limited, really tough to get. I got really lucky 2 years ago and managed to get a black canvas pair and was super hyped about it. And I got really lucky again this year and managed to get these ones, which was the one I wanted. I had like 10 different people trying to get them for me, and no one hit. And I got my size in the red one, so I was very blessed for that.
Awesome.
Nice.
And this is probably my favorite sneaker of the year so far. It's just perfect.
Yeah,
I'm going to be wearing
that's
these
really
a fuck
good.
ton.
such a Dalton shoe, man. It's just perfect for you.
Very much.
Yeah, and they're actually the skate high zip, so they have this zipper on the back, so it
Oh,
actually makes
nice.
them a bit easier to get on.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
And let me
leather
tell you
also
guys,
looks-
so you guys know that new shoe smell everyone talks about, where it's that chemical glue smell.
Yeah.
These don't have that at all. These smell like the purse section of a Macy's in like 2005. Just that really distinct, like, this is like some milling leather smell, but it smells like leather, and that's great.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, the leather on these is super soft. I can't say enough positive things about this. And every Blends Vans pair, they're the best.
That's a great pair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I do have
very
another
nice.
pickup on the way. Another pair of Vans. Nick, if you could pull those up, it's from probably the most hyped of all Vans typical collaborators, a company called Defcon. They're a Japanese streetwear company inspired by military wear, which is like all my favorite shit.
Wowzers, dude.
And that's the old school they did this year. It's all Gore-Tex. Camo has a U.S. flag. Lots of little details all over it. They're incredible. I cannot wait to get them in. And man, those were fucking hard to get. I got so lucky I managed to get my size in those too. And it's ridiculous. Those things resell for like $1,000.
Holy
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Wow.
for Vans, like no one touches resale value like Defcon does. So I am
honestly like this. I don't want to discredit Greg because Greg was spot on with that, like that last shoe being such a Dalton shoe, but this
Yeah.
shoe
This
is
might
that is
be
even more me.
the
Even leveled
most
up.
Dalton shoe of all
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm super hyped on getting those. They just look
Wow.
incredible.
Oh, what's the QR code do when you scan that? Do you know?
No idea. I'll scan it whenever they get in.
Wow. Dude, those are
That's
amazing.
Yeah, they're great.
Wow.
Yeah, oh man, I'm so excited for those.
Where did you
Blend-
get them? What site did you hit on?
a DEFCON group, their website on release.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
I
Oh,
hit
wow.
refresh at like 12
So you really got lucky.
at like noon 001.
Dang, dude.
I hit refresh and managed to get them, and I was fucking ecstatic the rest of the day.
Congrats,
feel like-
man.
I feel like these remind me a lot of the Supremes from
The 96
1996.
Supremes.
Yeah, like everything from the tag to the camo, the blocking.
Yeah, they all make it them though. DEFCON, they have a pretty long-standing partnership with Vans. I don't think they've done a project since 2013. They may have done one more recently, like 2017, but it's been a while either way. And every single shoe they do is really limited and really expensive now. So I'm happy to finally have a pair of DEFCON Vans.
They look great.
That's such a crazy shoe.
Yeah, it really is, man. Those are
Yep.
amazing.
I'll be wearing those a lot this year. So, the more I'm getting into sneakers, like just thinking about it lately, I've just been thinking about it a lot. The more I just want to go like full bore into Vans collecting and try to get a lot of that and sell like some of my old Nikes and Nike Dunks and shit. But
You're the
maybe.
guy to do it if you want to go down that path for sure.
Yeah. The problem is finding a lot of the old Vans I want is just impossible because Vans collectors don't sell shit and they're also a lot rarer.
Yeah,
So
that's
like
true.
a lot of the old syndicates I want, they're just fucking unobtainium.
But I feel like
Yeah.
that's the fun part, right?
Yeah, that the hunt,
Yeah,
the hunt,
totally.
man.
That's the part I love about it. Yep.
So
Guys, I got to dip out. I I gotta put the kids to bed. I appreciate you guys having me on, and look forward to doing it again soon.
Thank
Hell
you,
yeah, brother.
Yeah, of course, man. Thanks, Jeff.
Before
Take
you
it easy,
split,
guys.
before you split, Jeff, I just got to show off. This will be one of my recent cops, but from the man himself, Sweet Souls.
Nice.
I grabbed the Fragment Roshis, and man, these are great.
1000.
Yeah.
So good, man. The materials are great. The older I get, the more and more I appreciate Fragment design stuff. It's just so simple, so clean, like nothing crazy or flashy, but just really, really good materials. Really simple, But I love these so much, and thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no, enjoy those. Yeah, no, they're beautiful. I hope you enjoy them for sure.
I have not rocked them yet, but they will be as soon as the weather improves here. They're going on feet for sure, man.
Awesome. Glad to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
Love you, Jeff. Take care, man. Peace.
All right, Greg.
All right. Well, I guess I'll continue. Well, since everybody else did it, you gotta show the Crocs. And if you don't have fucking charms on your Crocs, you're doing it wrong.
I am
just like to say that I don't own a pair of Crocs. I still have no plans of wearing a pair of Crocs.
Nick, I think I know what you're getting for your birthday this year.
I mean, I'm not going to wear them, so you might as well not waste the money. Although, if you want to buy a pair and donate them for my birthday,
what's Cam's size? Cam will wear them.
Cam will wear them, sure. I just feel like I always wear like an old pair of Iverson slides, and that's pretty much all I really need.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, man. I get it.
I just feel like they're kind of ugly,
And yeah, I think they're ugly as hell. I mean, I think generally slides look ridiculous on most people, but
no question, Crocs are ugly, but they're comfortable as hell, man. Like I'm telling you, I wore just regular Nike slides, whatever, for years, and then kind of as a joke, I bought my girlfriend a pair of Crocs one year for her birthday, and she loved them so much that I bought myself a pair within a week of her getting hers, and that was like 2 years ago, and I have not looked back. So open your minds. It's worth it. So what I've been rocking this week, threw on the Omnis. I mean, it's just still so fucking good.
Classic.
I feel like this retro is actually really well done.
That's the most recent one, right?
It is, yeah.
I heard that one was really great quality.
It really is. Materials are great. Pump still doesn't work. It never did. But that's all right.
It works on Pump Furies.
It does work.
It also it works on Pump Furies. That's true. It also works on Command Force. Just saying. And then let's see. So yesterday for Theme Thursday, our theme this week was your most recent sneakers win or raffle win. And I hit on the Shadow 2.0s on the restock, which I think was last August. So that's my most recent sneakers win. Not nearly as bad as Fano's, but it's been a minute. And then today I rocked one of my favorite pairs that I have in my collection. Yes. The Vandal Pop Arts. So inspired by, I think, Fano, you popped off the conversation in the Discord yesterday about the crazy Vandal colors that they had from this era. It was like 2007? Yeah, 2007 for these. And I have a particular love for this pair because very shortly after I moved to Portland, which would have been around, it was probably 2008 when I saw these, but it was one of the first times I went to the factory store on MLK here, and they had pairs of these there, but not in my size. And that was a shoe that it just stood out to me. I was like, man, those are awesome. And it was kind of one of those shoes that I forgot about over the years until, I don't know, two, 3 years ago. It's like, oh yeah, that Vandal was really cool. So did some eBay searching, finally found a pair in my size, got them at a really decent price and pretty good shape. Very, very happy to have these in my collection. Did not come with the straps, which.
Damn, I was about to say, what does the strap look like for that shoe?
It was red and blue. I remember that for sure. But yeah, if you ever buy old Vandals on eBay, nobody ever saves his fucking straps for some reason. It's so dumb. But that's what I've been rocking. And Cops, I showed you guys the Roshi frags. Really, really like those. And this week I got a package from Barry. So these are one of the coolest shoes I've ever seen, and I can't believe I just randomly stumbled across them on eBay. But I've been super curious about this brand, and this is my first pair, but this is the Lecoq Sportif.
Was it the L1000?
TNC collab, if you guys can see that.
So awesome.
It's so cool, man.
Nice.
Yes, Dalton, I think model-wise, you're right on that.
Yeah,
but
I don't know my Lecoq Sportifs very well. I think that's the only model I do know, though.
These are really, really, really cool, in my opinion.
I'm obsessed with that liner.
It's, yeah, man, come on. That's so good.
That brand
get
was
your skank
so
on.
popular in California back in the day. Like,
I can imagine. And it came with a yo-yo.
Dude, no shit.
Yeah. How rad is that? Says summer 2016 on the back of it.
That's so fucking cool.
So rad, right?
Greg, do you know what the story is behind the colorway?
You know what? I do not. I have to do some research on it. I just
R1000.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Dalton. I really don't. I do need to do some research on these, but I just random late night eBay search, stumbled across these, got them at a really good design or good price, and sent them directly to Barry for cleanup. But I mean, maybe the coolest outsole on a shoe I own.
You're going to need some of this stuff that Mario suggested. Drip grip. I mean, he was suggesting it for Fano in the.
Oh yeah,
like the plastic thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other pair I recently got.
Mario said the colorway is based off of the video game.
See, I wondered about that. Somebody brought that up in the Discord the other day. I think it was DJ Nasty Nick. He was talking about the NES game, the TNC NES game, and if I remember correctly, the box art had that similar checkerboard thing going on. So last one from Verse 1, Barry himself. I grabbed the Air Max Tokyo Maze, which from this pack, this was my favorite for sure from that year.
Yeah, those are fan-fucking-tastic.
I really like these, and you know what? I honestly didn't realize that it came with
it comes with rainbow laces, right?
It comes with 18 different laces. It's crazy. Yeah, the rainbows. I really like these. These might go in. It's these kind of speckly guys.
Ooh, those look great.
Yeah, standard red and black, and it has the cool removable tongue tag with a bunch of different patches that you can put on there. But
nice.
Definitely my favorite from that Air Max year. Really, really happy to have these. And
that was 2018, right?
I believe this was
2017.
2019 is when they released.
Okay, 19.
The manufacturer date. Yeah.
That was a good Air Max Day pack.
Yeah,
I think
it was. I feel like until this year, this was the best pack that they'd done in recent memory. I mean, pandemic and everything kind of gumming up the works, but it felt like it kind of felt like this pack was like the last real Air Max Day that we had. That was kind of an event kind of thing until this year.
Right.
Yeah, what was the first one? When they first do that? 16?
2014, I think.
First Air Max Day?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was
Air Max Day was 2014.
That was the
Okay.
one with the like
The
neon
red
or
with the Volt Soul.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was the
325.
Volt Soul, and they
Do
came.
you guys like that shoe?
I love that shoe.
I can't
Airbag.
stand it.
I love that
You
shoe,
can't
man.
stand it? Oh, I think it's really good.
That shoe
really love
sucks,
Volt.
bro.
Oh my god, come on, man.
Man, I really love Volt, and I think that's a lot of the reason why.
I mean, I love Volt, but I don't think it works on that shoe. Like,
Yeah.
It works so badly. But I think that's why I love it, because it's like this ridiculous thing.
So we agree. We agree that the shoe sucks. You just like it.
Yeah. But recently I've been thinking recently I've been thinking about this really weird thought process about like the sneakers I like. And it's basically the sneakers I like the most are like usually pretty unwearable in just daily situations. Like they don't look fashionable. All my favorite ones usually. They're just ridiculously garish colors. They make no sense, and they're all really old. You just can't wear them. And I think the more, and I miss that age of sneakers, like where the most ridiculous colorway possible was like the most hyped up thing ever.
I'm fully with you on that. I'm ready for that to come back. Like I want to see, like we were talking about the Vandals. Like I would love to see retros of those crazy colorways. Like
they'll never be out though.
No, the one with the playing cards on it. You posted in the Discord the other day. There was so I from my research, this shoe does not exist in my size, but they did the Scientific Notebook in a Vandal as well. There was the Dunk also, but they did the same era. They did the Scientific Notebook pattern on a Vandal, and I actually saw those here in Portland, but couldn't find my size. And I think they were only done up to a 10, so it was like kid sizes. So my 12, it'll never be. Maybe that'll be a Mario custom I could have done someday.
So I brought an example real quick of just one of my favorite shoes I've gotten lately, and it's this absolutely insane thing.
Oh,
this is an Atmos New Balance 996 from 2006. It's a giant gold Dubray. The laces are rainbow.
Love it.
It's got tons of reflective on it. It's got a giant houndstooth section on it. It makes no sense. It is not fashionable in the least, and it is amazing because of that.
Yeah, I agree. Those are incredible, dude.
Yeah, I think that's what makes sneakers cool, is whenever there is no regard whatsoever to making them wearable.
That's
like it. That's how you really know it's like a
strokes.
sneaker person, because it's like you see them wearing a shoe. It's like, man, they probably wear that thing once a fucking year because it's utterly unwearable otherwise.
I mean, that's kind of how I feel and why I'm attracted to the Nike ISPA stuff. It's just so out
so
there,
ridiculous
and so insane. Like, who's gonna like realistically wear like a split toe shoe on the daily? Like nobody. It's crazy, but I love that shit so much, man.
Yeah, like the ISPA Road Warrior, I think, is an example of that.
It's the most wild shoe I've ever seen in my life, and I would love to own a pair, but I'm not spending
$500-$600.
Yeah.
Way more than that. Way more than that. Like
they're above that.
Yeah, for resale for sure.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not keeping track.
They retailed at $500, I believe. So yeah, you're not getting that for under $1,000 in my size at least. Like I've never seen them for under that. But
that's a thing I've been thinking about lately, and I think that's also the reason I don't like the New Balance 550. It's too wearable. It's too normal. It's a shoe made for the masses.
But I mean, like that's a thing. Like a colorway, I would argue that the 996 is one of the most for the masses shoes.
Oh yeah, it's a boring model, but they haven't done a 550 yet. That's a fun colorway.
Haven't they? Really?
Not really. They did like a multicolor one, but it's not like aggressively multicolor, right?
Okay.
I want a rainbow 550.
What are your thoughts on the 5740s then? Because those have had nothing but wild colorways. I think it's a great shoe, man. I really like those.
It's fine. I'm not big on New Balance's like modernized versions of classics.
No, I love them, man.
The 5740, the 997H, the 997S, stuff like that.
I like the 997H as well. Like, but come on, look at those.
That's a great colorway.
It's beautiful, man.
But I'd rather see that on like a 577.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm just a snob. It's okay. You can say it, Greg. You can say it. I'm a snob.
Now, I would never call you a snob, Dalton.
I would.
I would call you a gatekeeper, but not a snob.
That's okay. I accept it.
I mean, Dalton's a bit of a gatekeeper for sure.
I accept that. I was talking with. Was it me and you talking about that the other day, Fano?
About gatekeeping? Maybe not.
It was me and someone else, and we were like, "Yeah, I'm kind of okay with that."
It's funny because like sneakers are such a massively popular thing that like I totally understand like the term gatekeeper, and there are plenty of people that are that way. But like that's also like the best part about it is like recognizing all of us are like whatever, we all have our own things, right? Mm-hmm. But it's even beyond that. Like I think that's the best part of this community is that we end up like there's a good possibility that things that we talked about that we didn't like a year ago now have creeped in and we're like, oh, I kind of do like that a little bit more than I did.
Nick is saying that he's getting
just coming here.
Right.
I'm not getting Crocs. No.
Yeah, I'm not getting Crocs either. But I might get a pair of 500s because that's just been eaten away here for the last year.
500s are the best Adidas Yeezy ever.
It's so good.
Wow.
It's so good. It's like that and the 700 V2.
I like the 700 V2. I think the Wave Runner and the 700 V2 are my favorites.
Wave Runner's got to be number one, right?
I think it's the most impactful Yeezy. Maybe 350, obviously.
No, 350 is the most impactful. For sure,
350 V2.
Yeah,
right.
So what do you guys think about the Turtle Doves going to retro again?
That blew my mind. I wasn't expecting that.
Because that's really dated to me at this point. But that's also why I would want it now.
I couldn't give a flying
fuck. Look
fuck.
like the V2s and all the other crazy Yeezy stuff.
So
no interest whatsoever. I couldn't care less.
I mean, I'm not buying them, but
I've got a reseller buddy. We're Skep, known that guy like 10 years. He's like one of the few people in real life that I can talk to about sneakers and that gets it. He got a pair of Turtle Doves like at retail. And then we went to a show together once, a resell or whatever fucking maybe it was SneakerCon Columbus, I think. And before the show started, dude walked up. It's like, hey, those Turtle Doves are 13. He said, yeah. Bought them for $700. And then like a month later, they're worth like $2,000. And he's been kicking himself over that since. So I'm wondering if he's going to do the exact same thing with this release.
So
this is the first time Turtle Doves have retroed, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never understood why people like the Turtle Doves, and like I always thought that they were the worst of the four original colorways.
Of the V1?
Of the V1, yeah.
Huh.
Like I really like the tonal, like what is it, Moonrock, Oxford Tan, Pirate Black. Like I thought those were all super good, and the Turtle Dove was just this random like.
It's the first one.
Yeah,
like being the first one has a lot of impact because, like,
it really does. Like,
think of Jordans and Air Maxes. Like, the first colorway is always the one
on almost any shoe. I was thinking about this the other day. The React 87 Element, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
That shoe got washed out so fast. It was like on everybody's sneaker of the year list forever. And now you can find them for like well under retail, except for that original colorway. That one is still like way above. And I think you're completely right, Dalton. That speaks to that exactly. Like for some reason we latch on to. Say again.
Adidas Nomad's the same way. Like that black, red, and blue one. That's still the best Nomad.
Yeah. That's
at
so
least for like the original version of it. There's so many fucking versions of that shoe.
I definitely like the pirate black better color wise, but at this point I'm not buying any Yeezys. Like I've already gone past the point of even thinking about it. But like if I was just gonna buy a pair to have a pair, to be like, yeah, this was a moment I want to remember, kind of, which is why I buy a lot of shoes, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at that. I probably would go with the Turtle Doves just because it was such a big deal, because although the 750 came out first when Kanye signed with Adidas, that shoe was so polarizing that half the people that were into sneakers didn't even know what to think about it, right? Like some people loved it straight out of the gate. Other people were like hating it straight out of the gate. And then I feel like most of the population was like, what? Like this is a sneaker? And
It's not a sneaker.
And it doesn't feel like a sneaker to me at all.
It's a house slipper.
Exactly. Yeah.
But like as the 350 line progresses, right? It's like, okay, it looks like that shoe should have been left in the past compared to like a lot of the 350, the V2s, right?
That's true.
There's still not a 350 model I like. Like I think the 350 shape in general is so not me. It's like I don't know. It's just so
I'm with you on that.
It's so not a sneaker. And I like sneakers that look like sneakers, even though I like them to be insane colors. I still like them to look like traditional sneakers, which I think is why I'm more drawn to like the 700 and the 500.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Actually, shameless plug. You got to listen to the podcast that drops on Monday because we actually have a long conversation about almost the same thing with Ro and Mike and Robbie and I. So,
I can't wait.
That sounds great. Yeah.
It is interesting though, right? Because that's as much as like I'm sitting here saying I would never buy a Kanye shoe at this point. That's also what I love about what he's done for sneakers, right? Like everything that we thought should be the norm was thrown out the window. And he continues to do that. Yeah. Like most people are not going to wear most of the shoes that are coming out. But if Pete wears that foam runner to soccer practice or after the games or whatever out to grab beers, people see that. And it's like, that's something that like, let's say Pete is normally going to wear a pair of Dunks or a pair of Jordans or a pair of Air Maxes or something like that. That shifts everybody's perception of what's out there, right? Because the average person that's not paying attention to sneakers is like,
right.
They don't even think twice about a Nike swoosh on your shoe or what color it is or anything, right? It's just like, oh, another pair of Jordans, another pair of Dunks. They probably don't even know the difference, right?
They probably don't. But I mean, it's you're totally right. I think that's kind of pushing the boundaries of what people outside of the sneaker space would think of as what actual footwear is just in general, right? Like you see that enough, that becomes normalized. And it has. I mean, they have knockoffs of those in Walmarts and stuff, right? Like,
I could show my mom a Yeezy 350 and she'd know it's a Kanye shoe.
Really? No kidding.
I mean, I think that's amazing though. Right?
Yeah, it really is.
I think that's the power of like Kanye West and the Kardashians. Like they're just so fucking popular that everyone knows that like the 350, that's Kanye's shoe.
But it is also, I think you have to say like it's also incredibly unique, right? Like to Nick's point, like it. I mean, I think the foam runner, like I don't like it, but I think it's revolutionized shoes. Like it literally said, here's like a thing that was a croc basically, and then they were like, but now it's kind of nice.
Yeah, that and the Yeezy Slide started this entire injection molded sandal trend that is just fucking super popular now. There's like a Fear of God one. There's a Balenciaga one. Like every fucking brand's doing like an injection molded foam sandal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that is like a testament to like the perfect storm of Kanye's crazy designs and just way outside of our typical footwear, blinders that we all have on.
Yeah.
And the power of like him being in a relationship with, Kardashian and like the exponential, like just reach that all those people have that are connected to the family. Right. Because yeah, maybe Kim would wear a shoe first, or Kanye would wear it and then Kim would wear it. But like the entire family would wear his shoes for the past 10 years or whatever it's been. Mm-hmm. And I guess it's only been like 7 since he's with Adidas.
It's not even that long.
But like that, right. that kind of compounding reach and exposure to the masses is something we've just never had. Right. And I think that's a testament to like all of them and the way they do business, but also like kind of shifts the way people have to think about a way they market sneakers, right? Because even though like I think Virgil is the closest thing to that in terms of like Off-White and people knowing Off-White as a brand. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, when somebody sees an Off-White shoe, they see a swoosh and they think Nike. They don't think Yeezy. They don't think Kanye West, right? Like
they don't think Adidas either.
Right. And in a sense, that's the subtle genius was him fighting to not have the 3 stripes be so prominent. And also Adidas, like giving the opportunity to him to not have the 3 stripes be a permanent thing. Right. Because if he would have done that, even if he would have been doing crazy things like he's doing design wise and technology and like just manufacturing wise, if it has the 3 stripes, people think Adidas. So
you're right. Like that is he the only like individual collaborator that's been able to pull that off to where you think that's a Yeezy over an Adidas? Because like I immediately think of like, well, Jordan would be maybe the one exception, but I think like Travis Scott, like your average mom or dad walking down the grocery store aisles sees somebody in a pair of Travis Scott shoes, they're going to think Nike, not Travis Scott, but they might see somebody wearing a pair of Yeezys and think that's Kanye West shoe. Like it's permeated that layer that it almost seems like nobody else, maybe besides Jordan. Like you see a Jumpman on a shoe, that's a Jordan, right? That's probably the only other example of an individual like being able to permeate that layer of the normies. That's an impressive feat and should be recognized, like his contribution to the whole game, I guess. But
it's why the brands don't do that, right? It's why why Nike lost that opportunity, because they're like, hey, look, we need you to be recognized, but we need your shoes to be recognized as ours, right? Like,
right. Yeah, you think that's something Nike would probably never give up, right?
I mean,
they might again.
They might now for the right person, but generally speaking,
see, I wonder if they would be more weary of that now because, well, specifically because of the Travis Scott stuff. Like if you dump your eggs into an individual's basket as far as a collaborator goes, opposed to like a brand, right? So say like, I don't know, say Ronnie Feig does something fucked up and gets canceled or whatever, right? Does everybody who knows Kith know who Ronnie Feig is? You know what I mean? Could they still keep doing? Maybe people do. Maybe that's not a great example, but you know what I mean? Like Travis Scott's name is on the sneaker.
Right.
Ronnie Feig's name is not necessarily on the sneaker. It's Kith, right?
Yeah. So
I'm wondering if like sneaker brands are wary of connecting themselves to an individual name instead of like a brand now because of stuff like that, where like that one individual could I'm not trying to say that Travis Scott fucked up, but like could suddenly be thrown into the media spin in a negative way, and now that collaboration is kind of fucked, right?
But I think that I feel like Kanye is a great example that like it actually doesn't really matter, right?
I guess if you want to talk about that, he's
like I think people who don't even like Kanye, like Yeezys. Like I think some people have like I think Dalton, maybe you said like, I hate Kanye, I'm never buying Yeezys. But like, I know a ton of people who would buy Yeezys who don't really care about Kanye, or like, don't like, maybe they don't like him. Maybe they don't like how he's been acting the past few months, but like, it's not going to stop them from buying a pair of Yeezys. Cause I think at this point, Yeezy shoes are even more than just, I don't think they even like represent just Kanye. I think like it is a separate thing. It's like a look,
Yeah. Man.
I mean, the thing about that is it's hard for me to like, it would be hard for me to buy anybody's shoe that I don't like resonate with as a human being. Right. Yeah.
Right.
Like,
right.
I mean, even like people that I have no real interest in or connection to, like, I just think of like the V-Loan stuff, right? You know, like all that stuff came out a few years back, and it's like, why is this dude still getting this opportunity? You know, and like, obviously he kind of lost his opportunities with Nike really quickly, but like, he's still around. He's still in pictures with all the other, you know, people that still have deals with Nike. And like, you know, and I get like, you know, you never really know the whole situation around things, but just in those situations, for me, it's enough for me to say like, nah, I'm not going to support this person.
Sure.
And like, that's how I feel about Kanye. But like, it's a tough conversation because like, I also love Kanye's music, like especially the old Kanye music. And I felt like when he made that song, it's like, yeah, this is literally me who you're talking to, because I've listened to the first few albums on repeat for years, you know?
Yeah.
And like, you know, Stand for 808s and Heartbreak and like all these things. But then like, once you get to that point of like, all right, how do you separate the artist from the, you know, from the noise that's out there, whether it's good or bad, right? Because that's what we all are having to deal with now that we never had to deal with before, right? If we were all alive in '85 when the first Jordans came out, and we knew that Jordan was out gambling and, you know, drinking between games all the time, would we still feel the same way about him and the shoes? Probably not, but maybe not. Like maybe he's not a good example because he's not as extreme. But like then you get into like
there's a far
the
cry
90s.
from, like, far cry from like gambling to like.
But you get into the 90s and you talk about his debt and like the stories around his father being killed over his debt and all of that stuff. And you're like, wow, is this guy really in deep shit? And the league like pushed him out because they didn't want his face out there. And I get that that's a conspiracy theory for the most part, hopefully. But like, there's definitely some truth to some of the things that happened during that era that, you know, and I'm not saying like you couldn't look up to Michael Jordan, right? Like I'm one of those people who always did, you know, like, but it's one of those things where I'm glad that those guys like Allen Iverson's, you know, probably my biggest hero. And he definitely did things that most people would not be proud of, but he also admitted to those things regularly and talked through it and learned from it and became a pretty amazing human being after it was all said and done.
Yeah.
I mean,
but at the same time, he didn't have to like, imagine if Allen Iverson during all of that had a Twitter or an Instagram stories. Like all these guys would not be around if they had to go through the stuff that goes out now.
Right.
So it's tough to say, but like,
yeah.
Imagine like peak Dennis Rodman with Twitter.
It would be amazingly entertaining.
Oh my God!
Yeah, out of the NBA, so we wouldn't have seen him play. You know,
exactly.
True. I mean,
that's all. He wanted to change his name to Orgasm. He would have just been booted.
That's the art from the artist, man. That's the age old question, right? Like you're telling me you don't crank up a Michael Jackson song when it's playing on the radio when you're driving down the highway, right? Like,
I mean, yeah, that's a great example.
You know, but
I think a lot of that depends on how much love you already have for the artist before the stuff comes out. Because I've never been a huge Michael Jackson fan. I was always kind of on a Prince side because my mom's a huge Prince fan.
Hey, sure.
Prince is the better artist of the two.
Agreed.
Wrong.
Agreed.
False.
we're gonna be here all night. Oh no.
But yeah, like it really depends. Like if like fucking Wayne Coyne is kind of weird. He married a woman that's like 20 years younger than him. That's pretty fucking weird, man. And he's like the singer of my favorite band ever. But you know what? I kind of just got over that because he makes my favorite music ever.
It's you put blinders on for certain things.
Yeah.
I don't know that I can ever do that for a Wave Runner, but I think that's a beautiful shoe. It's it's
all gray area, man.
Greg,
it really is.
It really is, yeah.
Greg, what would Kanye have to do to get you to buy a Wave Runner?
What would he have to do?
He'd just have to like take back all the.
I don't know that I want
to
to
do for me is be like, man, I was really fucking stupid for supporting Trump for that little bit. Man,
I don't know.
Hasn't he already done that like with multiple things in his career though? I feel like that's the thing with Kanye is like he does all the craziness to promote an album, gets a bunch of press, gets everybody talking about him, and then disappears for a little while, like this time, backed out of Coachella. A couple weeks from now, he's going to come out and say, "Sorry guys, I was dealing with this personal stuff, blah blah blah." And then like everybody will go back to like, Kanye, poor Kanye. Because deep down we all want to like Kanye no matter what, right? He's
entertaining.
He's entertaining, but also just like when you see Kanye smile, he seems like a happy dude, you know? Like I think just deep in our core, like we want to see people be happy, right?
I want to see Kanye be mentally well. That's all. You know, like I don't know that he could do anything.
But if he was mentally well, he wouldn't sell albums, which means you wouldn't know of him to begin with.
Hey man, Vincent Van Gogh's best pieces were whenever he was the happiest and least depressed. So maybe the same would be true for Kanye.
I don't know, man. What a fucking rabbit hole.
Van Gogh, I'm sorry.
I don't know. I don't. That's a really good question, Fano, and I don't know what it would take for me to.
He'd have to come out with like a knee-high boot for Greg.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe
your ankle support.
The 950 isn't tall enough.
Yeah, right. That's not a good-looking shoe.
It's an okay. Yeah. It's like an all right boot. I think Kuyukoi has a pair.
Of course he does.
Not for me.
That guy has everything.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's not fair.
Fucking Christ.
Yeah,
the 950s are nice.
You like the 950? It's been a while. I have to Google.
I like the Adidas Easy shoes. Honestly, like there aren't that many that I think are bad. Like I think they're pretty weird, but like I like weird shoes. When I was working at Adidas, like I loved the Yeezys because I was like, yo, they are pushing the boundaries of shoes. And this was like, and I was like, this is amazing. This is like literally art as like a good that you can buy.
Yeah, I agree.
And I appreciate that. And I think that they have really pushed the envelope. They've changed all of our minds on what is an acceptable piece of footwear, more or less, you know. And you see other people hopping on that and really kind of pushing the boundaries. But it seems like, well, at least in the last decade or so, that's kind of really what's been pushing it is the Kanye line. So you got to give props to that. But I just, again, don't know if I can buy a pair for myself. And I'm sure if I did, I would love them. And that might change my mind completely. You know, I got to borrow Robbie's pair of Wave Runners, and then you might see me buying a pair next week.
It feels like what Nike was doing with like Alpha Project in the 90s and early 2000s. Like it's just this envelope pushing stuff all the time. Mm-hmm. We got some weird ass shit. Like the Foamposite in the 90s is probably like you were there, Nick and Greg. Like was that as crazy as like the Foam Runner or the 450 was now?
You know, probably. I remember seeing those like in that era and just thinking like, how is that? It looked like a space boot, you know. Yeah. It was totally out there.
I mean, it was different though, right? Because during that time, not everybody cared about sneakers, right? Like, like I wore Jordan 11s to my high school homecoming or prom, and got made fun of, you know, like walking in. Sure. Like, people were like, "Why are you wearing sneakers to prom?" You know, and I get that. Like, and Nick's like, but I was like, "This is why Jordan made them." You know, like this is why they exist, right? But at the same time, like, I think because they were so expensive. I mean, you know, like I worked all summer and then some to save up the money to buy those Jordan 11s, right? Like, and there was no way my parents could afford to buy me those shoes, and I think. Back then, Foamposites, the only kids that I knew that had Foamposites were either there's like the two most spoiled kids in our school and the two dudes that like provided the drugs to any party you went to, right? Like those are the only people that had the money to get that kind of shoe. And yet, like, I think like, even though they stood out to me because I had seen them and like, you know, like they were in the East Bay catalog, you know, like Mike Bibby in Arizona, like watching college hoops, but like, they're probably in a school of, you know, I don't know, a couple thousand people. There were probably only 50 or so, maybe 100 that would have even known that those shoes existed. Yeah. And that's the crazy part now is like the amount of money that people spend on just a pair of Yeezys every couple of weeks or a pair of Jordans every couple of weeks is just so exponential that the reach and the just like this craziness of what sneakers has become, you can't even really compare it, right? Because even though those designs back then to us were really groundbreaking and the stories have been told that like, hey, this was really groundbreaking back then, you know, like Kanye's doing that type of groundbreaking shit every couple of months. You know, we see some crazy new thing from him, right? Yeah. Whether it's foam runners or, you know, insulated boots or whatever, like all those shoes are like the next step up of like, what the hell's going on? But then like you see the result of him thinking that far outside the box and all the other people that do similar things and are able to push a little bit further outside of the standards that the footwear industry kind of has held so tightly for so many years. So, I mean,
yeah, whether you like Kanye or not, or like his shoes or not, like it's always, whatever he comes out with, it's always going to be a talking point, you know, like
we've been talking about it for the last half hour.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think the interesting thing about that, right? Like you guys knowing,
or three of us don't own a pair.
Yeah, true.
I own a couple.
Yeah, and like I want some. Like it's just what Nick was just saying. Like how much more mainstream sneakers are now is kind of unreal. Like like just going off of something like Real General, the sneaker subreddit has 2.7 million members.
Yeah. Right.
But I mean, think about it. Like the thing that would happen. So like I at some point will have a pair of Yeezys. Like I had a pair of 500s for like a split second and gave them to a friend. But like I would buy the ones that were significant to me, right? And that would probably be Turtle Doves, Wave Runners. Or if I was going to buy the ones that I wanted to wear the most, it's probably the 700 V2, whatever the reflective version is. Like those are my three favorites. I'm not necessarily three favorites, but like those are the first two most significant to me. And then the one shoe that I really would want to wear all the time. And at the end of the day, like I would treat these the same way I treat most shoes. Like I don't get a shoe and just put it on. Like I go hunting for old stuff, right? Like our conversations are always about shoes from 5, 10, sometimes 20 years ago, you know, like we're all getting hyped up about dunks from, you know, almost 20 years ago now. Right. So it's like, to me, like, I don't want to walk outside and see somebody wearing the same stuff as me, which is usually pretty easy because I just buy kind of slightly off the norm shoes. And, you know, unless I'm going to a sneaker event, I don't really have to think about somebody wearing some random neighborhood collab or a pair of Questions or something like that. Like it's pretty rare to see that stuff. And because it's so rare, it doesn't bother me if I do see somebody that's wearing it. But, you know, like I love the Jordan 1. I love Dunks, Air Maxes, but like it's rare that I wear those because I see them all the time. And I don't get excited about the story around it. Although like the Georgetown ones are actually kind of interesting because I remember seeing like catalog scans like probably 20 years ago on Nike Talk thinking like, wait, Hoya's ones existed? Like what the hell? You know, because the story was always about the Terminators, right? So you didn't really know that connection unless you were digging through Nike Talk way back in the day. And that becomes another story of like, oh, cool. It'd be cool to have that and be a part of that and like remember that. But at the end of the day, like all this stuff kind of it moves forward so much and so much faster now that like, you know, like I can grab a pair of shoes and sit on it for 5 years and people literally forget about it because there's so many shoes that are out there.
Right.
I mean, people complain about too many people being into sneakers, but that's what I love about it, right? Like like the fact that you can still find that Atmos New Balance collab, and like a handful of people in our community of 400 or 500 people are stoked out of their mind because they remember seeing it, and like you're so excited to have them, Dalton. Like
I was so hyped because
that's what's so awesome, you know. Like, like
the first
the average
article I read on them was by you.
like that's the thing. Like,
full circle.
the
That's
2.7 million people on Reddit. There's going to be like 10, 20 people, maybe 100.
I posted them on there, and I think 2 people commented being like, "Dude, I remember when these were new."
Yeah, you know, and
I feel like
invite those guys to the Discord.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're the people we need.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, Nick, to your point, like it is still. I feel like obviously sneakers have changed a ton. Like the community has changed; it's grown so much. But to that point of like, I feel like I also. I mean, I wear Dunks, so they're not like that kind of like rare. I think a bunch of people wear Dunks these days, but I feel like the Dunks I wear like would only be recognized by people who share the same interests as me.
Yeah, how many people are still rocking pistachios?
Yeah,
I think people probably don't like them. Like it is a pretty odd like combination of colors compared to like
so gorgeous.
Your regular like back to that be true to your school kind of like a color on white.
I feel like you walk down the street with those on now, kids would see those and think they were fake because they just don't know that colorway. You know?
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, I'm okay with that because not to gatekeep, but like, I don't want to talk to someone. I don't really care about having sneaker conversations with someone who like just likes Dunks because they're popular now. And like,
oh no, that's the kid you got to talk to. You got to,
I mean, well, no, but I think the kid that I would want to talk to is the same kid I was, you know, like 10, 15 years ago who sees that shoe and is like, I've never seen that before. What is that? And it'd be like, and then I would be like, they're pistachio Dunks from 2003. Search them up. It's a cool shoe, Euro exclusive. Like, and then if that like catapulted them into this like crazy rabbit hole of like shoes from the past, because I mean, I wasn't around. I wasn't into shoes when pistachios came out, but like I saw them on the internet and was like, what the fuck are these? And then, you know, like that's how I got into shoes. And so like, if someone's interested in my shoes, I'm happy to tell them about them. If someone thinks they're fake, I'm happy to move on. Like,
no question.
I think you nailed it earlier though, right? It's really the hunt that you know, like I think we've all kind of connected with like, and it's not even, we don't even know really what we're hunting for at times, right? Because, you know, there's thousands of shoes that I've seen in my life that I would love to have. There's maybe 100 that I can actually remember and want still to this day. Without the help of technology, making lists and following and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like I'll go down a rabbit hole and like, I don't know if you've done this, Fano, but like in my experience, like I have a wall full of shoes that I have almost all of them, some personal connection with either the person that made it, that collaborated with it, like some connection to the story, maybe how it was marketed. Not necessarily like this is the shoe that was designed by my homie. It's more like, oh, my friend did the launch, you know, the marketing launch for this, or held the event to launch the shoe, or all the different ways that people can be connected to sneakers. And for me, that's like something that's super important. So like, I always try to buy, like if one of you guys were working at a brand and were like, yo, I finally got to do this on a shoe, I would buy that shoe because I want to support you guys in some way to like be able to tell that story again and be like, hey, guess what? 20 years from now, I'm going to bring the story of like, oh, Dalton worked on his first Vans shoe. And I got a pair that I still have been hanging on to, so I could tell this story again. But I think that's the interesting thing about like the community is that like we're kind of like, yes, we're all into sneakers, but we've kind of had this like really interesting group come together that is really about just like deep diving and going down that rabbit hole until they find the story that resonates, that also that they can come back and share with everybody else, because we're all like, it might not be the same shoe, but we can all totally relate to going down that rabbit hole and chasing a shoe for weeks or months or even years, and then finally hitting and getting it, and like having that moment of like we all can go, oh yeah, I know how long it took for me to get that pair of mine. I can relate to the emotions that you went through to get it. And I think that's like such a crazy cool thing, you know, like I just love that so much.
Absolutely, man. Nailed it on the head, Nick. You're right. That's what it's all about, dude.
I don't know how much longer you guys want it to go, but I don't know if there would be a better way to end than on that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, so I got to share my pickup because this one is.
Yes.
You have a pickup.
I have a pickup. Yes. Wow. This is a long time in the making.
Oh boy.
I mean, I've wanted this shoe since 1997, but I didn't hit. Circling back to the community aspect of it, I, of course, struck out on sneakers and all of my close friends and everyone else. But Keith hit, and I finally have playoff 12.
Yes, nice.
So
beautiful,
perfect shoe.
Yep.
Really
perfect shoe.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. I'm speechless every time I look at it. I'm just like, this is exactly why, like, you know, this is why I got into sneakers, right? Like, and I think like I had the Obsidians, the original Obsidians. I got them, you know, they were one of the colors that went on sale, but that's always the shoe that I went for back then because I wanted the blue Jordans anyway. Mm-hmm. But this shoe was so beautiful, and watching Michael play in it, all that stuff. And like, you know, I was never in the right place to actually buy it when it came back out. And then when like certain retros would come out, I'd be like, well, I'll just get it when it goes on sale or when, you know, like whenever. Yeah. And of course, everything is like, you know, everything sells out and is usually, you know, 10-15% above retail, which I just still fundamentally, I can't get myself to just pay an extra $50 for somebody to make $20 and for StockX to make $20. But you know, it doesn't make sense, but I'm super stoked to have those, you know, I mean, yeah, the chase, man, it's literally like, you know, more than half my life of wanting that shoe and finally being able to get a pair thanks to Keith and just like everybody looking out for each other every day in the Discord has been it's just an awesome thing to see and to be a part of. So
it's a beautiful place. Best place on the goddamn internet.
It's the best sneaker community I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, definitely. Sure. And you know, and we got to do a little meetup, you know, it's kind of like, you know, everybody's kind of getting, you know, a little bit less restrictive with the COVID stuff. So we're all like, okay, well, let's go. Todd's brother-in-law has a donut shop in Dublin. So we all kind of met up there and got to hang out outside, and you know, the kids are playing and like we're all talking about sneakers and Formula One and all this stuff. And it's just like, you know, like I try to remind myself this, but I say it all the time on the podcast. Like it's never really been about the shoes for me. It's just been about the reason to connect with people, you know, and, you know, to your conversation about the pistachios, you know, there's going to be some kid that like, you're going to be sitting at work one day and it's going to be an intern and he's going to be like, what are those? And you'll tell him the story. And like 20 years from now, he's going to tell that story to somebody else and be like, the reason why I own 1,300 pairs of shoes is because this guy I worked with had this weird color of a dunk. And I was like blown away because I thought I knew every dunk that came out right then or whatever. Yeah. But like, that's the beauty of it. It's just like you get introduced to this like web of all this interesting stuff and these cool people. So yeah,
for sure.
Definitely.
I was going to say, final note on that. I just want to shout out my 8th grade English teacher, Daniel Love, Mr. Love, who introduced me to Air Maxes. Like, obviously I knew what Air Maxes were. But I think I'd written something where we had to write like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said like a sneaker designer. And then he was like, have you heard of Tinker Hatfield? And I was like, yes, of course. Like I was into Jordans. He's like, well, he designed like all these Air Maxes. And I didn't realize like this guy was showing up to school in like Air Max heat. Like, and then I remember the day I remember the day he copped the Urawa Air Max 1s and he like wore them to school. And he was telling us, he was like, guys, this is like the most amazing like fucking Air Max ever. And we're all like, yeah, that's cool. It's a red shoe, you know, like it's pretty nice. And like even back then I had no idea, but like, you know, I looked that up and he literally like jump started my Air Max interest. So
that's beautiful, man.
But
that's awesome. Mr. Love.
That is
Urawa Dragons, because that's a fucking dope shoe.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Well, let's wrap there. If you haven't been convinced to join the Discord, you should just hit the link in the description. You'll find a reason to be excited to be in there. But let everybody know. Why don't you guys let everybody know how they can find you while you're here?
Fano.
I'm on Instagram, FRDizzy. I recently made a Twitter, FRDizzy_TWT. I don't really use it, but yeah, hit me up there.
You can find me in the Discord. I have an Instagram, but don't bother. If you've enjoyed this conversation at all, tomorrow night is our monthly community call in the Discord. So if you want to get in on conversations like this, join the Discord. We're going to be on it's like this, but it lasts about 8 hours, and I get really drunk most of the time. And just spill my guts about all my insecurities in life. And the good people of the Discord listen to me blather on. If you're not in the Discord, join up. It's a really great time. That's about all I got. Dalton, over to you.
Hey, go ahead and follow me at sneaker_Saiyan on Instagram. I mostly post pictures of shoes and my cat. I used to do this thing where I did like crop pictures of sneakers and ask people what they wore. I'm thinking of doing that again, so I might start doing that again.
Yeah, those are fun.
More sneaker quizzes because that was fun. Yeah, go ahead and follow me there, sneaker_Saiyan. And follow Sneaker History on all the platforms. Join the Patreon. Help support us, because if you join the Patreon, then that means we can do even more giveaways, make this community even fucking better.
Absolutely. Oh, on top of that, if you've got a Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe to the Sneaker History Twitch for free with that Amazon Prime account.
Give us some of Jeff Bezos' money. He doesn't need it.
We did not know this.
Yeah, we get a free $5 per month, and that'll all go to more giveaways, prizes, stuff like that. So,
yep,
if you got one of those available.
Actually, for tomorrow's community call, I got a little surprise giveaway. So,
hell yeah!
Hey, all right.
Giveaway on the call. It's a good one. It's a good one. It's a shoe that I wish I would have hit on. So,
oh boy, okay.
Get that.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, y'all. Well, make sure you're following at Sneaker History. You can follow myself at Nick Ingval on all the platforms. Thanks, guys, for spending so much time with me tonight. It's been a blast talking with you guys.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Love y'all. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
All right. Love you guys. Peace,
everyone.
Hey, everyone. This is Nick again. Before you take off, do us a solid and head over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. Give us a rating on Spotify or Amazon Music. And make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, because we have even more content coming for you in 2022. Speaking of new content, we have an amazing community of sneaker enthusiasts that hang out in the Sneaker History Discord on a daily basis. While sneakers is the connection point that brought us all together, we've all discovered countless shared passions we have in common with other people within the community. We recently launched the first of a handful of new podcasts that will be coming directly from our Sneaker History community. We'll get into the details for those in a future episode, but I'm excited to share that the Exhaust Notes podcast is now live. Now, this is a show about the world of cars, racing, and other automotive-related topics. If you're a fan of Formula One, Formula Drift, cars and coffee, or you're just a weirdo like me that enjoys the smell of gasoline, I think you'll enjoy this one. If you do, add Exhaust Notes to your subscribe list so you'll be updated when we drop future episodes. As always, thank you for supporting Sneaker History, and don't forget to tell someone you like their kicks today. Peace. Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Before you take off, do us a solid and head over to Apple Podcasts to leave us a review. Give us a rating on Spotify and Amazon Music, and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, because we have even more video content coming soon. Speaking of new content, we have an amazing community of sneaker enthusiasts that hang out in our Sneaker History Discord on a daily basis. While sneakers is a connection point that brought us all together, we've all discovered countless shared passions that we have in common with each other. We recently launched a couple of new podcasts directly from our community. One of them is a Formula One podcast. If you're an F1 fan like me, The Exhaust Notes podcast is your weekly fix of Formula One fun. It's hosted by myself, Rohit Malhotra, and Todd Yates. New episodes drop every Tuesday. I've been wearing fitted hats for years and collecting my favorite teams since I was a little leaguer. It has been awesome to see so many new fans getting into fitteds in recent years. Crown and Stitch is our new talk show about fitted hats with Dexter, Keith, and myself, where we talk about fitted hats, snapbacks, throw in some obscure hats because we all kind of like some funky stuff once in a while, don't we? Copping, collecting, and so much more. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Hit the links in the show notes for this episode to give our new shows a listen, and be on the lookout for more new podcasts dropping soon. Last but not least, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Thank you all for the support, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.